I think first and foremost, I like to thank the commissioners for this app. They were instrumental in helping us secure the funding for this particular app, which is going to be a huge asset to the county. I think in our talks in the past, we've always had some discussions on how to better communicate well with the county residents and anybody else that's coming here to town. To help us be more effective in our duties here at the sheriff's office, but also to make sure that we get access to every county office holder, every county resource, every fire department, every police department, anything that would be county related for either public safety or health and well-being. And I think we've accomplished that by doing this app. I had been investigating it for quite some time. There's many other counties here in Ohio that do that and have the app. I think there's 40 plus now, and more are coming on board. But we were fortunate enough to have the commissioner on board with it. They were very gracious enough to allow us to use some of the funds that they had available to us specifically for opioid issues and mental health issues, which are obviously a big problem throughout the United States. And so I can't thank them enough. I appreciate Jim for taking the lead on it, at least from the commissioner's standpoint, and then obviously the cooperation from the other commissioners is very thankful. So this app is amazing. It does a lot of things. You've downloaded the app. I'm going to get you some pictures and photographs, posters today that you can certainly put out there on Facebook, but this would be the official launch today.
Okay.
It's a work in progress, so we've got a lot of information on the app that's available to everybody in the county. I encourage them to download it. It's free, doesn't cost any money. Accept the acknowledgments, because then we can get information out to them as necessary in the event we have some urgent information we need to get to the county residents. And then we want that interaction from the public. We have a lot of opportunities for them to reach out to us for a whole variety of different things. And Mr. Justice can probably speak a little bit on this from his standpoint, but we have a submit a tip icon on the app that they're now allowed to submit information to us that we can investigate. And I know that's really one of Jim's babies, if you will, as part of the app, and I'll let him talk about how important he thinks that is.
Before, I think people have been hesitant to turn in a drug dealer or somebody that lives close or you know real well, but you're a little afraid. This app gives you the ability to anonymously, no trace, come in and submit this, and they can check it out. I mean, we're not going to just run after somebody that wants somebody because they're mad at them. They'll screen that. But the whole idea that you can go and anonymously turn in a drug dealer and not fear for your life because you're close, I think that's a major, major part of this app for me.
And I mean, how does that differ from tips that you guys were receiving before? I mean, like you had mentioned earlier, tips weren't always, they haven't always been anonymous only.
Yeah, most of the time that we get tips now are either by phone, which can be tracked, right? Unless you're calling from a burner phone or something like that. I mean, there's always a phone number associated to whoever's calling, and that can always be tracked backwards. Emails, same thing. Text messages, Facebook messages. I mean, they always have a digital footprint. But this particular manner of submitting tips now has kind of been mastered, I guess, if you will, by the developers of the app, where it basically gets to a repository managed by them. And it even comes to them in some sort of an anonymous fashion that there's no way for them to backtrack it either. So they're basically just a repository for information and then resubmitting it back to wherever it needs to go. And it's genius, really, in my mind, because it's going to be a very good tool for us to use. I think a lot of people right now, like Mr. Justice said, are very hesitant because they're fearful of their lives, their family life, their safety, whatever the case may be, their property. And this now gives them a pipeline or an avenue to do that without fear of any of those repercussions. So I think it's going to be a great tool. I'm excited for it. Some other features of the app, there's going to be a link on there for the sex offender registration and watch. So now you'll be able to open that app up, and it's a live map of the area, and you'll be able to zoom in, and you'll be able to get to all of those individuals, exactly where they're living, where they're registered with our office. And you'll be able to see who they are, what they look like, where they live, what the offenses and stuff are. And you no longer do you have to try to go to a website, Google it, make sure you get the right website. It's all right there at your fingertips. So you'll be able to open that up and do that, and we can certainly show you through that if you'd like. And you'll have access to all of our jail information. All the inmates here in the jail, you'll have access to that directly. So as soon as they're booked into the jail and to our system, it'll be immediately available to you now on the app. So you'll be able to search all that information too, and be able to have some of the services that we provide here for the inmates, like commissary and putting money on people's books and things like that. Now you'll be able to do that through the app.
Yeah.
Does that
To the
notify you if a sex offender moves on your street?
You
Through
can
the app?
you can elect the notifications through that Vine notification network, and it will allow you to do that. Like, let's just run through this real quick, just so you can kind of see what this looks like. So the app looks like this. And if you go to the sex offender button here on the tab, this is kind of what popped up initially. And then as you zoom in, you're able to pick out little bubbles, and these are all little bubbles. These red dots are where registered sex offenders live in the county, in Ashland or wherever. And just as an example, if you were to click on this particular individual, you can see all that information there, where he's at and things like that.
Yeah.
Sheriff, we just had some incident in Mapleton. How did this app help you with that incident?
Yeah, so as part of this app, there's also what's called a push notification, and it's a one-way pipeline from our office to everybody else. And so it would scroll across the top. I would push this information out to folks. I could tell you, hey, we have an incident going on right now. Let's say like the Mapleton schools, most recent incident. Please stay away from the area as law enforcement emergency operations are ongoing. So please avoid the area temporarily. Updates to follow, and that would pop up on your screen like a text message or a notification, and then you could read and scroll down through that. And if you clicked on it, then you would have whatever notification that we sent out, and you could read through that. And we could also news feed, stream that down along the bottom of the app as well for ongoing events and news feeds.
Yeah.
We can also do that down along the news feed as well.
So I mean, you're kind of saying this will improve the speed of communication as
Correct.
well, like.
Right.
Yeah. I mean, could you speak to a little bit about how those notifications? I mean, you just did a little bit. Like, how do those notifications reach residents more effectively than your efforts previously?
Well, in addition to the notification from my office, the Emergency Management Agency also now has a tab on here, and then you can get to this tab, sign up for their services as well. And the service that they're going to be using or are using right now is called Code Red. Again, Mr. Justice can probably speak more about that, but it replaces the old system that we used, which was called WENS. And again, you would have to sign up for that service as well. But this has the ability to also sign up for Code Red, which would be the EMA service, but and also use my push notification. And then she can now push that information out through this app. And again, when you download the app, I have no idea,
Right.
who's downloading the app. I can't track any of that. All I know is numbers of people who have downloaded the app, but who's downloading it, I have no idea. But when you sign up for that and then you allow the notifications, then you're allowing me to say, hey, you can send me whatever notifications you need me to send me. So whoever signs up and says, hey, I'm okay to get them,
Right.
we'll send them.
People forget this is a free app. You don't have to pay anything
Nope.
for that. You just download this, and it's there for you. It not only tells you about all the sheriff stuff, but he's got EMA, he's got us on there of our information. Sheriff, you could tell us how many agencies you have on.
Oh, yeah, if you go to the county resource page, I mean, you'll have access to every county office holder in the county. You'll have access to the health department, the court systems. You'll have access to the highway patrol, city police and fire departments, the animal shelter. There's just all kinds of resources on here. And we're going to continue to add to that, I'm sure, because
Yeah.
I'm sure I've missed somebody. But hopefully not. But if I did, they'll certainly reach out and let me know, and we'll add that resource to the page. So this is all at your fingertips. I don't know too many people that don't walk around with one of these anymore.
Yeah.
Whereas before these, you would have to go to a computer, you would have to call, dial 0 for the operator back in the day, and try to find, hey, look, can you connect me with the health department? Can you connect me with the library or whoever? And they would give you the phone number. This is all right here now. I mean, you could literally get to everything that you need right through the app.
And on each of those, is it going to take you to one main contact, or is it
It'll
staff
take you
directory?
to their website,
Take you to the website. Okay.
and then all their information will be right there.
Okay, gotcha.
And what all kind of notifications have you is set up right now to broadcast? Just emergencies, road closures, there's numerous different ones.
Well,
What all will you guys?
I have not set any parameters to what we can send out. I mean, I can send out whatever we want to send out. Now, a couple of my other staff members have access to the push notifications because it's literally a one-way street. There's, the way we do it now on Facebook, you put information out there, and then you get all of the comments. Some of those are not accurate. This doesn't allow for that. So the information stream will be accurate from this office, and then there'll be no confusion, right? Nobody adding into anything saying, hey, that's not correct, or this is my opinion, or, well, all that. And in this particular app for emergency situations, we don't need anybody trying to confuse the situation. So we'll put it out, the push notification will go out, and then if people have calls or questions, they can certainly reach out and call the office.
Right, and so you mentioned parameters, kind of going off of what you said. So then, I mean, are you guys just planning to send out like any and all kind of notifications?
Anything that would have a direct effect on life and safety, or health and well-being with respects to the county residents. I'm
Okay.
certainly not going to send you out and say, hey, we're having a cookout today at the sheriff's office, push notification,
Right.
2:00 in the morning. We're not going to do any of that kind of stuff. It could be road closures in the event it's a serious road closure from a traffic accident or a fire or a major incident somewhere. I won't be pushing out just normal road closures. We might put that down here on the news feed so that people can look through that. But anything that we want people to know right now, those will be the things that we'll be sending out. And of course, I only have 3 people in the building that have access to it, so it's not like my deputies can walk around and say, hey, I think we need to send this out at 3:00 in the morning.
Right.
They'll call me or one of the other captains, and we'll get the information out to the people.
You mentioned earlier this is something that you guys have been working on for a while. So, I mean, how long has this process been in the works? When did you guys want to start pursuing this?
Well, I'll speak from some part of it. I've been looking into this, prior to the primary election back in 2024. So,
Okay.
I mean, you're talking 2023. I've been eyeballing this thing at various BSSA conferences and various training classes I've been to. You have to have vendors show up at these things for new and innovative ideas on how to communicate and do things for the community. So I started looking at that then. I know Sheriff Reisner had also looked at it some time ago, but financially it just wasn't feasible. But because we were able to secure some additional funds and things from the commissioner's office, the conversation continued, and we finally got to the point where it was advantageous to take advantage of. So we started having more serious conversations in probably around the general election in 2024 in preparation for the first of the year. And then right after the first of the year, I think we met with OCV a couple of times through some Zoom calls, in-person meetings, and then we agreed that we would engage with them over a 3-year contract, develop the app, and it's up and running.
Perfect.
It's not like you can start the app and you're ready to go. There's
Right.
a lot of work in the background, a lot of getting people on board. I think this will help today to tell more people about it, and there'll be more things that can go on the app. Even all the way down to in the winter when I call the sheriff and I say, listen, what are the roads like? Should I close the buildings? We didn't have a way to push that out. We just closed the buildings when somebody showed up.
Yeah.
Probably had a stage 3 out there, but should have been on the road. But anyhow, that minute of stuff would get out. So there isn't anything that really has to do with any type of safety, any type of, what do I say? Probably the best way to put it is anything has to do with your life in Ashland County that's very meaningful to get to the point where how is this going to affect me? This app will be there to help you with that.
Yeah. And I mean, do you know off the top of your head, like, how much funding went into this? Like, is there a number that we could share in our article?
I don't remember the exact number, but I think it was an upwards of $40,000, if I'm not mistaken, which was the build of the app, which took nearly 5 months, almost 6 to do. And then that's also a 3-year contract for service, which is continual upgrades and monitoring of the system. Any changes we want to do or modifications we want to add to it, that is all totally encompassed into that $40,000. And again, that's over a 3-year period of time. So, I mean, it's a pretty cost-effective way for us to be able to get this information out to the county. And like I say, I don't know anybody that doesn't have some version of this now that they'll have access to all these resources at their fingertips, 24/7.
Right. And did all of that funding come from the commissioners, or was there another source?
We took care of that.
Yeah.
Okay.
We did. We had opiate funds. Anybody and everybody that sold opiates, pharmacies, all those ended up paying, and I think we got like 100 and some thousand, so we used part of it for this app. And we know that it will help, like the anonymous line with drugs. Also, basically you look down through the list of what's there, and once again, you're not going to find too many things that's not on this app that really mean something. Let me throw in something about Code Red you mentioned.
Yeah.
Yeah. It was
They
good.
had an incident in Hazel with the water went down, and you had to boil water. The mayor gave Code Red, or gave Andy at EMA those names, and when that happened, everybody in that neighborhood got notified. So you got notified when you boilers are, when it's off, and if you had no water because of the incident. And that can be the same if Ashland wants to be a part of this, the city, where if you go down, you have a boiler or anything, all that will be on the app. The Code Red would also say if there's an emergency with a tornado or whatever, that'll probably be pushed out on both those. And they can, with Code Red, you can go right to that area where it's hurt and get every one of those on their phone. But we really want people to sign up, makes it a lot easier for us.
So
Yeah.
people have
Cool.
to sign up for Code Red to get.
Yeah, they have to register. And the nice thing about Code Red is, and I think it's a little different from WENS, if I'm not mistaken, but it can be very geographic specific. So if you have something that's happening in the Polk area and you don't really necessarily need to have the rest of the county know, they can target just those numbers in the Polk area and send that information just to them.
Okay.
So, people of Polk don't need to know about water problems in Hayesville, but everybody in
Right.
Hayesville needs to know, so she can target that area by geographic location and hit phone pings down through there, whoever's got registered to Wi-Fi or, cell tower coverage, and it will capture that and send that information out to them.
Okay. Gotcha.
So has Chief Lay or the city or anything like that, have they expressed interest in being a part of this, or are they a part of it now? Like if something happens in the city, would it be notified on this?
Well, this is just coming out.
Yeah.
I don't know if they've had a
Yeah,
conversation.
I've not had any conversations with the city reference, being part of the app, so to speak. Now I've just kind of taken their information that they've already got out there from either their website. They have an app as well. I didn't know if you knew that, but the city has an app as well. And I've integrated that into this app so that, if you go to the city of Ashland, then you can have access to their website or to their app. And then if you want to download their app, you can certainly do that as well. They'll automatically be part of the Code Red system with respect to if people in the city want to sign up for it. They're more than welcome because it's a county, right? Ashland City falls within Ashland County and under the purview of EMA from that standpoint. So if they want to be part of those notifications and the city has information they need to get to Ann and said, hey, can you please push this out to, Ward 1 or Ward 3 or Ward 2, she can certainly do that through geographic pinpointing. And get that information out. That would just be a communication thing from the city to the
That would be
EMA.
something for you to go check on also, and let Ann talk to you about all the things that it does, because that's her baby and her department. But they do correlate back and forth. It's not like we don't have two computers that can't talk to
Right,
each other.
right.
These can go back and forth, so it's a very integrated part of the sheriff's office to be working with EMA during disasters.
So what about like any other like collaborations with any other organizations, like if there's like a boil order or something like that, or maybe like working with the Department of, or Highway, yeah, you know what I'm trying to
ODOT
say?
or the County Highway Department or anything like
Yeah.
that. Yeah, and certainly, they can send me that information. I mean, if it has a life safety component attached to it, I can certainly put the push notification out to the county. But if it's just something that they would like to have out there for people to know about, more of a less urgent type of a situation, like, hey, we're going to be closing, State Route 511 down here, between 620 and 500 for 14 days starting October 1st. They can send me that through an email, and I can put it down on the news feed, and then you can read down through that stuff.
Okay.
So, I mean, there's a lot of things that we can do with the app.
Yeah.
And the intercommunication capabilities are certainly there for this to happen.
But you, the news media, normally pick that stuff up right away too. So they're watching something that you're doing, so it would be redundant, but it's not bad to be redundant.
Right. And we don't want to take any away from the news media, obviously, like being the stars of getting the information out or whatever. But I mean, most of the time, this would be for urgent things that we need to get
Yeah.
out for life safety measures, things like that. So, but I'm sure you're all going to sign up for the app. So
Yeah.
as soon as everybody else gets it, you'll get it, and then I'll see Mafia Joe and Tony and maybe yourself
Yes.
all out in the route, county following us around. So.
I think a lot of people be truly grateful for you guys to put the sex offenders thing out because they want to know where they are at.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, and we didn't reinvent any wheels here. This information that is on the app now is already out there. And it has been out there for a very long time. It's managed, through the Ohio Attorney General's office, through the Vine Notification Network. So, I mean, it's out there whereas you would normally have had to get to a computer to look it up. Now you can just pick up a phone, push a button, and you'll be able to find it right on your phone. Anywhere. So you can carry that list with you everywhere you go.
So how often is that updated, Sheriff?
It's updated daily.
Okay, you'll have up to date.
So it's a good
So soon-
key to
soon as the-
direct access to the residents. Bash until,
That's
if something's going on.
That's-
And this is directly from the sheriff's department. This is,
that's correct. Yep,
it's
yep.
to be taken as,
Yep. The Vine notification for the sex offender registration and all of our jail stuff. So it's an integration between the app and those RMS systems. And so once there is a change on that end, it's just a matter of the refresh. So how often that refreshes, which happens all the time, then you'll have the live information.
Because, like a lot of us said, okay, if I have a sex offender in my area, I want to know where she is at.
Yep.
Yeah.
Right. And so now, in lieu of the notification coming out, because sometimes that takes a little bit of time, right? Now, as soon as it's into the system, you can check this thing every hour if you want to, every 15 minutes, whatever. And you can zoom into that map and look for your address because it'll pinpoint where you're at by your location. And you'll be able to zoom in just right around that area and you find everybody who's living around you.
can you elaborate on the corrections part of it? Is that gonna have, the photo, once they are arrested, the arrest photo?
Yep,
would
let's
have-
just go through that right now while I got you. So, again, you'll just open the app, and then down here it'll say jail and inmate info. When you click on that, it'll give you a list of things that you can get to. Your top button is the inmate search, and so there will be all the inmates and their photographs. Click on that. Click on the photo.
And I know one of the first questions is, are they gonna be able to put money in the inmate's account through this app?
Direct link to our website, and then you'll be able to click on the access for corrections, and then you can walk right through the system and be able to put money on the books.
Oh, okay. That's an interesting feature too. Wouldn't have thought of that.
So it'll take you to just about anything that you want to do within the facility. There's even a tab on here. Excuse me, let me get back here a little bit. You can go to the records requests, and you'll be able to have our public records request policy on here, and you'll be able to make a public records request through the PDF version, or you can just simply send an email.
Nice.
Once again, one of the things that I want to reiterate, let's say they're doing a drug bust or something, and there's fentanyl that's in the air. They can tell you to stay away from that area. They don't want you to get any drugs in your system, or you never know when it's going to be floating in the air. And all
Yeah,
that
that's
stuff.
right.
So that is a big deal to me too.
I don't think
Any
I
other
knew
questions?
that.
Either in light of recent events, especially for parents, who are interested in their various school systems, there's a schoolhouse on the front, and if you click on that, it will pull up the various school systems within the county that we are actually responding to or have school resource officers in. And then we'll just use Sergeant Hamilton at Black River Schools. Her information will be up on there, her picture, you'll be able to see who she is. Her email will be there, so you'll be able to reach out to her directly with any concerns or anything going on at the school. So instead of calling here or trying to rely on her cell phone or
Yeah.
calling her at the school, all the parents now can reach her directly through email right through the app.
Very cool.
And that's at every school system. So I like showing off the SROs because they do such a great job. So, Brian Martin down at Hillsdale. I don't have a picture of our new guy up, Jeff Kinney, up at Mapleton yet. ACA, which is Shelby Hammond, which is the alternative school, and then the Career Center. So you'll have access to all the school resource officers.
Very cool. Is there anything else that either of you would like to say about the app or what users should know about it?
No, I think the biggest message right now for me and why you folks are here is to get the message out. Like, download the app. Please get on there. There's a lot of information on there that's directly at your fingertips now, whereas before you'd have to go searching for it or even pick up the phone and call. Now this is all going to be right at your fingertips. So I encourage you to download it. That's a good way for us to communicate important things out to the community. And I think it'll be a huge asset to our communication and our linkage between this office, the county commissioners, and the rest of the community. So I appreciate you guys coming in and spending some time with me
We'd be
today.
remiss if the commissioners didn't thank the sheriff for researching this, doing all the work behind it to get this out, to help people have a better working knowledge of what's happening in the county. You've mentioned a lot of the different things it's going to do. This is going to streamline, it's going to make it better, and thank you, Sheriff.
Yeah, you're welcome. Thank you. So.